Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, everybody. It is Saturday, April 5th, and you know what that means. It is time for the High Risk Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, looking on to glory, trying to plant my dynasty. Yes, Jeremy Pierce, welcome one and all. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations52 on Instagram, and of course, the 215 on Twitter. And today's show, AEW Dynasty pay-per-view, goes down tomorrow in my city, my hometown, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. I will be there with the boys, Black Wisdom, Zombie Reese. We are going to be in the building. Today's show, take a look at the show, preview, predictions. Let's see what we got going on. But for now, you know what's next, so just go on and hit my music. All right, you know how we do these shows. We just get into the show. But, first things first, we got to take a look at last year's card. Dynasty last year, 2024, was the first Dynasty, and it took place in St. Louis, Missouri at the Chaifetz Arena. And we had ourselves a bevy of a show. So we had 12 matches on the main card with the pre-show included. So on the pre-show, we had Trent Beretta defeating Matt Sydal by submission. Shibata and Orange Cassidy defeated Shane Taylor Promotions, because, say it with me, everybody, Shane Taylor Promotions always lose. We had the Bullet Club Gold defeat the Acclaimed in a winner-take-all unification match to quote-unquote unify the AEW and Ring of Honor Trios Championships. They were never really unified because the titles are once again split up. But we move on to the main card. Okada defeated Pac by pinfall, retaining the Continental Championship. The House of Black defeated Adam Copeland, Eddie Kingston, and Mark Briscoe. Willow Nightingale defeated Julia Hart to win the AEW TBS Championship. This was a House Rules match, as that is a stipulation that the Hounds of Hell, aka the House of Black, set up, and the rule was Willow's stipulation was that Sky Blue and Chris Statlander were barred from ringside. It's good. Roderick Strong defeated Kyle O'Reilly to retain the International Championship. Chris Jericho defeated Hook to win the FTW Championship. This was an FTW rules match. Timeless Tony Storm defeated Thunder Rosa to retain the AEW Women's World Championship. Will Ospreay defeated Bryan Danielson. The Young Bucks defeated FTR to win the vacant AEW World Tag Team Championships. This took place in a ladder match, and in the main event, Swerve Strickland defeated Samoa Joe to win the AEW World Championship. And just to recap some of the things from the show, Willow Nightingale being crowned the TBS champion was the right choice, even though her reign didn't last long because she lost the championship to Mercedes Moné sometime after. But we had to crown Willow. Willow is over like Rover. Roderick Strong versus Kyle O'Reilly is an underrated gem. When we think about that match, it was very, very good. These are two of the best, just skilled wrestlers that we have there. Thunder Rosa, Tony Storm, go back and watch that match. It was very, very brilliant. It was ahead of its time for everything they were doing, the stories that they were telling. This was just really, really, really good. Now, the Ospreay Danielson match isn't, when we think of that match, it's not that it was a bad match, because it wasn't a bad match. It was a dream match. It just wasn't what we expected from them, because they put on a very much better match later on. And of course, we crowned Swerve, with ultimately Dynasty being kind of largely inconsequential. And honestly, that's what a lot of people think about today, right now, with tomorrow's Dynasty. But it was still a very, very good show, as AEW rarely fails to put on a bad pay-per-view. But we have ourselves on the main card for the 2025 show. We have ourselves 10 matches now. Apparently, Hangman versus the Wild Card was announced. I can't find any mention of that. Let me just double check. Yeah, so that match will not be going down, but we'll see what happens tomorrow. And of course, Tony Khan's going to announce at least 2 to 3 matches, maybe 4 for the pre-show. But we got 10 matches on this card, and we start off with our Owen Hart Cup matches. We got 3 going down. The first one is Kyle Fletcher versus Mark Briscoe, and these 2 dudes have gone at it over the last couple of months. This is the 4th match between these 2 men, and Mark Briscoe holds a 2-1 advantage over Kyle Fletcher. So because Fletcher doesn't hold the advantage, that kind of tells me who is going to win this match. But first things first, we got to get into the bracket for the men and the women. So on the men's side of things, we have Will Ospreay versus Kevin Knight, Brody King versus Konosuke Takeshita. That's one side of the bracket. On the other side, we have Mark Briscoe versus Kyle Fletcher, and Hangman Adam Page versus a wild card pick. On the women's side of things, we got Jamie Hayter versus Billy Starks and Thunder Rosa versus Chris Statlander on one side of the bracket. On the other side, we've got Julia Hart versus Mercedes Moné and Harley Cameron versus Athena. The finals of both men's and women's tournaments will go down Sunday, May 25th at Double or Nothing. So back to Fletcher and Briscoe. With Briscoe holding the 2-1 advantage, I have to go with Kyle Fletcher here. It just makes the most sense, and that is okay. I could definitely see a 5th match going down between these 2. Then we have Mercedes Moné versus Julia Hart. This is another match where I think it's very, very predictable, because ultimately we're going to end up leading to a Mercedes Moné versus Athena matchup. And Julia Hart just came back, and I don't think she's done with Queen Aminata, who's not done with Serena Deeb. I think Julia's kind of treading water just a little bit until Sky Blue comes back, because I really do think AEW needs a women's tag team championships. Is one of the few things missing from this company, but it's going to be a really good match because Mercedes Moné has been on a roll. Our current TBS champion has just been, I'm not going to say dominant, but she's been absolutely amazing, getting the best out of her opponents. It's going to be a really, really solid match. I don't think it'll go long, but it's going to be good enough where you'll be entertained. And then our third Owen Hart match will be Will Ospreay taking on Kevin Knight. Kevin Knight just signed with AEW. He's a fantastic talent, formerly in New Japan. He's wrestled everywhere around the world except for the WWE. And him and Will Ospreay might just have the match of the night. That's how good Kevin Knight is. I totally believe in him. But again, this is one of the few matches in the tournament where I think the winner is very, very obvious. I think Will Ospreay will win this match, but Kevin Hart won't, suffer from a loss. It's still going to be a fantastic match, but take Will Ospreay here. Then we have the AEW World Tag Team Championships on the line, as the Hurt Syndicate will be defending against the Learning Tree, Bobby Lashley, Shelton Benjamin versus Big Bill and Bryan Keith. Now, originally this was supposed to be the Hurt Syndicate versus the Murder Machines, Brian Cage and Lance Archer, but with Brian Cage being hurt, AEW pivoted to the Learning Tree, and this helps build into the story of Chris Jericho wanting Big Bill, wanting Brian Keith to step up. And yes, there was a little shaky in the beginning, but this is going to be a solid affair. Don't sleep on Brian Keith. The man is a tremendous talent in the ring, and that is something that really should be applauded. Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin just got these championships back. They just got these, not back, but they just got them, and they have one defense. They beat Private Party for the belts, and then they defended against the Outrunner. So they haven't really defended the championships. They got to get some more defenses under the belt. So take the Hurt Syndicate to win here. Looking forward to the a hoss fight between Bobby Lashley and Big Bill. This will be a fine match. Won't go long. It'll be very, very entertaining, to say the least. Then we have Daniel Garcia defending the TNT Championship against Adam Cole. This is their third match, I believe, and we have a stipulation here where this match has no time limits and there is no outside interference permitted. So the reason that we have these stipulations is because their first match went to a draw. I think both of their matches went to a time limit draw, or I think Garcia might have snuck one, and there was interference. There's just a whole bunch of stuff going down. No, the first match ended in a DQ because Shane Taylor Promotions got involved, and then the second match ended in a time limit draw. So that's why we have these stipulations. And since we haven't had a clear winner, Daddy Magic is right. It's not on Daniel Garcia to win. It's on Adam Cole to beat Daniel Garcia. Adam Cole has had 2 opportunities and he's failed both times, where you're saying, well, what about the interference? Interference doesn't matter. You should have won the match before the interference came. But I'm liking what they're doing here. Dan Garcia's had a solid reign after defeating Jack Perry. So the question is, will Tony Khan crown Adam Cole? He needs something. You know what I mean? Fantastic talent, fantastic wrestler, and with this match having no time limits, I think this is going to go the distance, like 20, 25 minutes, maybe 30. We have a 10 match card. You know what I mean? Every match isn't going to go 10 minutes. Every match isn't going to go 20 minutes. So here we are with this match between just 2 skilled individuals. No time limits, no interference. I like what they're doing with the Undisputed Kingdom, and Angela Parker came. They had the trios match. Went back to the wifey and the baby. So Daddy Magic has Daniel Garcia's back. O'Reilly and Roddy has Adam Cole's back. So they won't really play into the outcome much. I think Adam Cole is going to win here because I think we can get more distance out of this feud, even come back to it later in the year, maybe even next year. You just can't lose your way with Daniel Garcia, but I think I'm going to take Adam Cole to win this match. Next up, we have the Ring of Honor World Championship of the line, as Chris Jericho will be defending against Bandito in a title versus mask match. Chris Jericho has the title, Bandito has the mask, and Bandito's putting his mask on the line. As you know, Jericho attacked and pretty much beat the hell out of Bandito's brother Gravity, stole Gravity's mask, was making a mockery of the luchador. Bandito finally got it back, so now Jericho wants Bandito's mask while Bandito wants the Ring of Honor World Championship. And Bandito is a former Ring of Honor World Champion. So, like I said, how we have 10 matches on this card, not every match is going to go long. I don't think this match is going long. Bandito's that dude. People want to discredit Jericho. Chris Jericho is a GOAT in this business. He knows what he's doing, and I think he just helps put over Bandito here. This is another match on the card where it's very obvious who's going to win. And when you have stipulations like this, when something is on the line, something of a major consequence is on the line, you got to take the obvious outcome, and that is Bandito walking away as your new Ring of Honor World Champion. Then we have the AEW World Trio Championships on the line, as the Death Riders will be taking on Rated FTR. And once again, ladies and gentlemen, obvious outcome, very obvious outcome. I wholeheartedly think the Death Riders are retaining here, and it's only for 2 reasons. Okay, there's turmoil involved with the Rated FTR. There's turmoil. Something's not right. Dax is tripping, and he's made his point clear right? Him and Cash have put their dreams on hold to help Cope, and Cope has failed time and time again trying to get the AEW World Championship from Moxley. So now it's on FTR to go back and focus on what they wanted at its tag team goal. And there's a rift going on between Dax and Cash. You know what I mean? It's all on Dax. Cope's there. He's in support. The story of this match is on Dax. The Death Riders have been feuding with FTR, have been feuding with Cope, because they're all involved with Mox. So like I said, the Death Riders retain here. The story of this match is what happens with Rated FTR. How do they break down? How does Christian Cage and the Patriarchy play into this match? Because Christian Cage and the Patriarchy helped cause Copeland to lose in the AEW World Championship match. And then you have the Ops, who say they will be in the building and don't want to be caught lacking. Y'all don't want to be caught lacking. And I think the inevitable move is to get the Trio Championships onto the Ops and let them build that division back up, transition into a breakdown of the Patriarchy as we're waiting for Luchasaurus to come back. But inevitably, we're going to get the Copeland and Christian reunion, maybe even feuding with FTR. That will be something I'm looking forward to. But take the Death Riders here. Then we have another match that might be the match of the evening, as Kenny Omega will be defending the International Championship against Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey in a trios match. And we got here because we had ourselves a nice little eliminator tournament. Real quick, that bracket was Orange Cassidy defeating Hachicero, Speedball Mike Bailey in his debut defeating Beast Muertos, Ricochet defeating Shibata, and Mark Davis defeating Mark Briscoe. Then we had a fatal four with the winner to face Kenny, but we ended up getting a double pin. So we had Speedball and Ricochet win the match, and now they are here facing Kenny Omega. This is going to be absolutely brilliant. I don't think Speedball's winning here, but he's going to look amazing because Speedball always looks amazing. The kicker is, even though Kenny just got the belt after defeating Takeshita, will they pivot and put the title on Ricochet? Because Ricochet needs to get the belt. Ricochet needs something. Now listen, I'm fantasy booking here. I would love for Samantha Irvin, his new wife, to end up in AEW and be not only his manager but his personal ring announcer to get him over with more heat. And I say that because even though Samantha doesn't want to be a ring announcer anymore, we know she's good at it. So she only really has to announce him. She wants to be a manager so she can manage him. Like I said, it's the thing about Tony Khan. Call me, dog. But now this is one of the matches where I think it's going to go the distance, like 20-25 minutes of just high octane action. It's going to be great. It's going to be absolutely fantastic. Again, the question is, do you take the championship off of Kenny Omega so soon and pivot to Ricochet? I'm going to say no, because I think we can pivot to Speedball feuding with someone else, and we can move directly into Kenny versus Ricochet before we move into our inevitable Kenny Okada feud, because they haven't fought yet in AEW. And I, along with a lot of people, think they're going to unify the International and Continental Championship. But take Kenny Omega to win this match. Next up, we have Timeless Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Megan Bayne. And wow, okay. When you sit back and really break this thing down, you're saying to yourself, Toni Storm can't lose. He just got the belt back from Mariah May, one of the greatest feuds of all time in the history of professional wrestling. I understand that. But since Megan Bayne's debut, she has been kicking everyone's ass. Whatever they're doing with Megan Bayne, I have no idea why they didn't do this with Camille. So I just need to know what's going on with that, because I miss Camille. But Megan Bayne has one or two wins already over Toni Storm in a tag team match. She's already defeated Thunder Rosa on multiple occasions. She defeated Chris Statlander on multiple occasions. They have been making Megan Bayne look like an absolute star. And Tony, time and time again, after getting knocked down by Megan Bayne, gets right back up. But man, oh man, oh man, the Mega Sis is a lot to take. And Toni Storm is absolutely fantastic. We know what she is all about. And Megan Bayne, if you don't really know, if you really haven't seen her, you're in for a treat. AEW has horses. Megan Bayne is a horse. Toni Storm is like a mini horse. She fits right in there. And sometimes in wrestling, right, you got to think about the rules of opposite momentum. Megan Bayne has been dominating Toni Storm. So inevitably you can say, well, Tony's got to win. I am so 50-50 on this match. I am very much 50-50 on this match. Toni Storm, Megan Bayne. Megan's been dominating. And I could really see them putting the championship on her. I can just see them putting the championship on her. But I think with this being Tony's first title defense after getting the belt from Mariah May, I think Toni Storm wins here. But here's the thing. I don't think her reign's going to be long. Because the way they're pushing Megan Bayne, you can put the belt on her. And last but not least, the AEW World Championship is on the line as Jon Moxley will be defending against against Swerve Strickland. This one, I don't know. I just don't know. Every time we think Mox will lose the championship, somehow, some way, he finds a way to retain. He just does. But Swerve is smart. Swerve is a very, very smart man. But can the most dangerous man stop the greatest of all time? It's a tough question to ask. Swerve has done almost everything right, but ultimately, does he have enough to stop the one thing Jon Moxley has over him? And that's the numbers advantage, because you know the Death Riders will be there. He's got backup in Willow, even though she took a paradigm shift. Where does Hangman fit into all of this? This is the big question. Where does Hangman fit into all of this? Because things went down. Things were said on Dynamite this past week. And don't forget, a couple weeks ago, Hangman was coming to Swerve's locker room. He was in there. What was that about? So I think Hangman plays a role here because maybe he's had a change of heart. We all think that Mox is going to lose. Every single one of us. And yet, somehow, some way, it doesn't happen. But I think you've got to send the people home happy. Not all the time, because I was at Full Gear and Mox won that match. But I think I'm going to go with Swerve Strickland to leave as your new AEW World Championship, making it 2 years in a row at Dynasty. He leaves as your world champion. So one more time, let's go over the card one more time, and let me give you the winners I think are gonna happen. I've got in the 3 Owen Hart quarterfinal matches. I got Kyle Fletcher over Mark Briscoe, Mercedes Mone over Julia Hart, and Will Ospreay over Kevin Knight. AEW World Tag Team Championships, I got the Hurt Syndicate retaining over the Learning Tree. TNT Championship, Dan Garcia defending against Adam Cole. I got Adam Cole winning that. Chris Jericho versus Bandito, title versus mask match with the Ring of Honor World Championship being on the line. I got Bandito winning that. Death Riders defending the Trios Championships against Rated FTR. Take the Death Riders there. Kenny Omega defending the International Championship in a triple threat match against Ricochet and Speedball Mike Bailey. Take Kenny Omega there. Timeless Toni Storm defending the AEW Women's World Championship against Megan Bayne. Take Toni Storm there. And in the main event, the probable main event, Jon Moxley defending the AEW World Championship against Swerve Strickland. Take Swerve Strickland to win there. But that is our show. Thank you for listening, everybody. Thank you for watching. Come back next week, as we are now officially on the road to WrestleMania. WrestleMania is only 2 weeks away. Wow, let that sink in. Look on the screen what we got coming up. We're going to have some fun this month. Check out the socials, Charismatic Creations on Facebook and YouTube, Charismatic_Creations 52 on Instagram, and of course the 215 on Twitter. I'll see you when I see you, because as always, Anna J, Isla Dawn, Willow Nightingale, Chris Statlander, Gigi Dolan, and Bailey. Holla at your boy. Peace.